Good afternoon, everyone. It's Carla. I thought I would come back on today and show you a transformation that I made of a little doll that was secondhand. I purchased it, and she came to me naked, and she was an all vinyl doll. The date on the back of her head said 2002, and she's not the softest vinyl, but her head and body were still pretty soft, but not like they make today. But she had the molded hair on her head. Almost all of her coloring had come off of her. She had no color to her lips. She had no eyebrows. All the hair coloring was gone. Just the mold lines were there. And I just decided to wash her up and paint her with air dry acrylic paints, with the FIXATIVES, the sealers I used. And then when she was all done, I sealed everything with the Americana Ultra Matte Varnish, which gave her a beautiful matte finish to her skin. And then I tipped and glossed her nails and glossed around her eyes and her nostrils, around her ears, and glossed her pretty lips. So I just wanted to give you an kind of tell you some things that I did with this doll that I haven't had to do before, but it worked for me. And so I'll start at the top of the head and show you everything that she's wearing, everything that she's laying on, the blanket I made. But as far as her clothing, her toy, her headband, and her PACI'S were all thrifted items, and she herself was a used item. And I just kind of want to show you how cute she is. She is a large preemie to a small newborn size, and I think she turned out really, really cute. So we'll start up here. Onto her thrifted headband. It originally had a blue bow, and it was sewn on, so I just used my stitch ripper, took those few stitches out, and then I hot glued this pretty red and white bow to her white headband because I thought that would just make her red hair pop. Her red hair came from the thrift store. They had two wigs that were identical. One was $1.99 in a big baggie. The other was $2.99 still in the package. They were both the wigs for the little character from either Disney or Pixar, the Brave character, and it was just long wig with curls everywhere. Well, I took the cheaper one because I'm trying to be thrifty, and I brought that one home. I washed it, bleached it, conditioned it, and then hung it out to dry overnight, and it was or all day long, and it just popped back into all its pretty curls. And when I was rooting her hair had some long curls, but when I cut it, it's more of a just kind of got some body and volume to it. But if I wet my fingers and kind of go through her hair, just scrunching it, it comes up with a few little curls and waves here and there. So I think it turned out really cute. She's got a full head of hair, but you can still see a little bit of her scalp through there. The only mark she had on her that I couldn't get off was a little, looked like either an ink or a magic marker mark on the back of her head, but it was going to be covered by hair anyway, so I didn't worry about that. And it was about the size of, I don't know, maybe half of a pencil eraser, so it wasn't a big deal. And other than that, she's very pretty and clean. Now, she had full arms and full legs on a vinyl torso, and I didn't want to use that vinyl again, so I took her apart, and her arms and legs all had the grooves on them so that I could attach nylon ties to a cloth body, but her head did not. It was flush to her vinyl body, so I was going to need a neck adapter. And so I looked online. I looked at Bountiful Baby. I found them online first, and they were $2.95, $4.95, $7.95, and I thought that's ridiculous by the time you pay. It looks like a piece of 2-inch PCV, but it's got a groove at it's got a flange at the bottom and at the top. And I thought, well, I can't do that. So then I went to Bountiful Baby to look at their bodies. I was going to get a full limb body for her, but right now they're running about $18 for the body. And those flanges are on sale. They're probably clearancing them out from $1.99 down to 20 cents. And so I thought, oh, I'll get them here. But by the time I paid for the body and the flange and my postage, I was up, over $25. So I couldn't do that. Just too much for my budget right now. So I thought I got to make this work another way. So what I did, I had some old limbs, and if you do reborns long enough, you might have bare limb around somewhere or something. And I had a set of arms and legs, and this is the leg and I'm showing you, but I actually used the arm one. And what I did was I cut it right here. I just used an X-Acto knife and cut it straight across. And then this end was going to go where her neck is, and then the other part was going to push up inside her head. And inside of this empty spot right here, I filled a nylon and filled it with poly pellets, so that it gave it some stability and some weight as I pushed it up into her head. And I just pushed it up in there as I was filling her head with polyfill and another poly pellet packet in the back to give her some weight so she'd flop. That just held it steady. It fit perfect in there. That arm limb fit perfect into the neck cavity there, and I suddenly had my little ridge at the bottom and my groove that I needed for the nylon tie. So I thank the Lord for that, because I prayed and asked Him to help me to do this doll. I wanted to get her done, but I didn't have the stuff I actually needed, and so He gave me that idea, and I'm really thankful for that. And then the next thing was a body. I just didn't have a full limb body. I didn't have any spare bodies, but I did have a little doll that's about 17-18 inches, and she had 3/4 limbs, so I took her apart, and I thought I'll give it to this doll, because the other one I just kind of didn't bond with her or anything. And instead of keeping the arm and leg caps filled with polyfill, I just left the polyfill out of there, and now they're closer to her shoulders and her arms flop. Even though this was a jointed arms and leg body, I'm really not having to use the joint because her arms and legs just flop so nicely. So you can see here they just move super nice, flop everywhere that I want them to go. And I don't know that I'll even get another full limb body down the line if I don't need to. I mean, she's fine. And like I said, she's, you know, right with this body, she's about 17 inches from top of her head to her little curled up legs here. So she's a pretty preemie or a small newborn size. And then this outfit was one that I got at JCPenney with one of their sale coupons that they send out about every other month, where you can get $10 off a purchase of $10 or more. And this little 3-piece set, it was a boys set, and it was on sale for $11.99. So with tax and everything, I had to pay $2.17 once they took the $10 coupon off. Now, like I said, it was a boys outfit. It had some kind of little emblem here, and I used my seam ripper and I took that off, and now it can be used for a boy or a girl. A real pretty navy and white. She looks very nautical. She's got these little pants with the cuffs turned up. She's got 0 to 3 months little Carter socks that are striped to match. And this outfit came with a red shirt, but I don't know what I did with it. And so instead of it being newborn size, the only other red I had was a 0 to 3 months. And I put that on her. And like I said, it's a little big, but it gives that pop of red color that I was looking for. Okay, here's her little thrifted Winnie the Pooh toy. Got it kind of hanging on her wrist there with a rubber band, just cute. And then while I had her apart, I also put a magnet in so she could have a magnetic PACI. And so this was one that I made. It's a Winnie the Pooh, and it looks cute on her face. And then I made this pretty lavender one for another newborn outfit that I had purchased that same way with a coupon from Penny's. And so now she's got 2 PACI'S. And I wanted to show you too, you can see how strong the magnet is. It just pulls it. But the magnets, that was another thrifted item. If you go back to where the purses are, and you go in the section and look for the cheapest purse, but that has those magnetic closures on the top, the kind that are sealed into the vinyl or behind the leather, and say you don't want the purse at all, but you've got these really nice magnets that are between 1/4 and a nickel size, and that's what I put inside her mouth. And I've done that to one other doll, and it holds so well. I mean, it's got the strongest magnet that way. And so for out of an old used bag, you get 2 awesome magnets. And then of course for the PACI itself, I use the smaller magnets that I either get at Harbor Freight or at Hobby Lobby or at Walmart's, but usually they're from Harbor Freight. I think their rare earth magnets are better there for some reason. Stronger, they're more like industrial. So here's the pretty little girl, and I wanted to show you one more thing. While I was thrifting, I found an Ann Geddes doll, and I know you know who that is, and a lot of her dolls, they're just little sleeping babies that lay sideways, and they're wearing little cute animal costumes or little flower pot costumes or something. And this one had just a beautiful face. It only had quarter limbs for the arms. It had no legs. It had some kind of animal costume on it, and it was all ratty and tore up. So I didn't want that, but I wanted this beautiful little face. So I took that apart. I salvaged the 3 packs of poly pellets out of it. I took them out of their package because one of them ripped, and I thought, okay, I'll just put them in new nylons. I'll seal the nylons shut and like double seal them, and I threw them through my washer and dryer, so I had nice clean poly pellets that I can use for another doll. And I think I actually put 1 or 2 in her. But anyways, so out of that doll for $2.99, I got a beautiful head that I'm going to use down the line on another doll, and this one is a little bit bigger than her, so it'll probably be a newborn size. And that's another way you can use things. Just look, let your imagination run when you're out thrifting, and see if you can't think of something that you can use down the line. Maybe it's not something you're going to work on right now, but it's a possibility for down the line. So here she is again. I want to just show you. We'll pull back and show you the sweet baby. And like I said, she's just super squishy. She feels wonderful in your arms. We'll put her Paci on so you can see her with her Winnie the Pooh Paci and her Winnie the Pooh toy. But she's a beautiful little baby now, and I had a lot of fun putting her together. Broke quite a few needles doing this little head because it was harder and thicker than the other, and I didn't heat the vinyl up, but that's okay. Not a problem. I think she turned out really awesome. Oh, and one more thing. When I got her all done, I had trimmed her eyelashes because they were too long. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I've tried to tape this video a couple times, and I can't remember if I said it in this one. But I trimmed them down shorter because she's such a young baby, and the longer lashes just didn't look right. And then her eyes, even though they were a beautiful blue, they had like faded. Not the color hadn't faded, but they had like a milky kind of a cloudiness to them, and I went over it with the Folk Art Artist Varnish, and I just painted a layer over her eyes and let it dry, and they came out sparkling, got some life to them there again. So I hope you like her, and if you do, please give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe, and if you want to leave a comment, I appreciate it. And thank you all so much. I love watching your babies, and I hope you like this newest little member of the Reborn community. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye.